Down and Dirty. Tips and tricks for keeping your plane out of the shop. Starring Steve's Dirty Hands. Today, how to put a spar in your sparless, spar-free, unsparred airplane. Steve's Dirty Hands, and today we're going to show you how to put a spar across your jet between the two wings. These go into the wings 6 inches, like that far in there. This is easy to do, and you want to do this because it makes your plane way stronger. We also put a rod going in from the wingtip in like this and into the fuselage at the front. So we have 2 rods basically in the wings of all of our jets like that. And the first thing we need to determine is where's the motor, because you can't go through the motor. We need to measure it. And this showed up to be 22 inches from the front, and it's 11.5 inches from the back. So that tells us the spot where we can't put our rod, right? So 11.5 is there, and 22 is here. Okay, so we can't put our rod between there and there. So 11.5, actually, it works out. It's the very back of the motor where it sticks out, and that comes to here. So we can put our rod right behind that, which is what we're going to do, right underneath this edge here. In the wings, we want our rod to go straight into the wing, and we want it to go perpendicular to this surface. You can see from looking down the edge of the wing that it's not straight, right? The back points here in the front of the wing, so that's not going to do for us. We need the perpendicular part. Is it this part or is it this part? We find that out by measuring. At the back of the wing, it's about 9.25, and at this point, 9.25. And up at this point in the front of the wing, 9.5. These two sides right here are parallel. That means perpendicular to the line we want to go to. We made ourselves a little jig to do this kind of stuff. You're going to lay your wing down on its top and then find out where the center is by pressing on the center, right? You press right here over the high spot in the wing and see where it comes to. There's a space here and a space here. So first thing we do is cut ourselves some little shims to fill those spaces in and make sure this stays there instead of doing this. And we can cut those out of foam. We use our handy foam knife and cut a shim to fit in this space, and we'll cut one to fit into this space over here, which will be about like this. Hold it down right there on the center, well, it's right here. Okay, and put that shim in there till it stops, and then put this shim in here till it stops, and that's that. Okay, so now can't rock that. So we tape this onto the tabletop on a part of the wing that doesn't show. Of course, we need the tape to go down to the table. Now we get our shims under there. This is a right angle. These are cut square, perpendicular. And we put a groove in each side. The groove in this side is for an 1/8 inch bit, which fits in there snugly, but it turns, right? It's not too snug, wants to turn. We made this on a table saw. Groove in this side is for a 5/32 inch bit. Snug, but can still turn easily. So since this is square, we want to hold this against this surface here, which we know is parallel with the other wing, right? So what we need to do is get this raised up to a place where it's going to put the rod where we want it. We want the rod to be right underneath this tab and to go straight out into the wing. So we're going to use our 5/32 bit, and we want the rod to go straight out into the wing right above this tab. So we need the rod to be this high. I'm pretty sure that our 1/4 inch pieces of ply will do this for us. Let's find out. The best thing to do is to attach these two surfaces together with pieces of tape. You don't want to rip your paint off your plane, but if you do, you want to do it in a nice linear fashion so it looks like it's supposed to be there. So we're going to put it on the plane straight, like so. All right, now theoretically, if they move, they're going to move in unison, right? And we want to also tape down the wing somewhere to keep it hopefully from moving. We go to a pivot point. We can see this wants to go like that when we're going to be pushing on our bit, right? So tape this down over here. Same for this thing. We can tape this down against where we'll be pushing, okay? So we're pushing in here like this. Now you notice when I poke on this now, nothing's moving around, which is good. Now this is sitting on the table, this is sitting on the table. That means it's a straight line. I can put this in my groove and drill right into the wing, and it's going to be straight and perpendicular. I've got a mark here for the depth that I want to drill into. It's easy to mark your drill if you know where you want to mark it. We want to mark this at 6 inches, which is right there, right? So we go, and we make a nice black stripe. Now we drill into the stripe. We put it in the groove, right? We lay it in there. We hold both of these down, and we drill straight in, right up to our mark. Okay, that wing is done. So I can remove my tape. Look, it didn't peel the paint off. I love this paint. And there it is. Our wing is drilled for our 4mm crosspiece. So our piece goes in here, and we know it's now perpendicular to this and also straight into the wing because the wing was laying on the table straight. All right, to do the other wing, we flip everything over because we're using this right angle on the back of the wing like so. And I'll tape this down again. And our wing is going to be taped down over here and shimmed until it stops. Same for the front. Shim that till it stops. That's flat on the table. Tape down everything the same way. We're going to tape the wing and the guide together. Tape the wing down. And we tape the wing down. And there we are. And we drill, same as the other side. And we drill up to our mark. For now, we just have to locate the spar on the fuselage. So what we want to do is get this to go parallel with this surface, right? We lay the rod across the fuselage, and we want to shim it to a place where it's parallel here, right? So that'll do for that. So we'll get some shims again, and we'll shim it to be parallel on the top. There we go. That's parallel pretty much. Okay, so I want to tape this down so it doesn't move. All right, that'll hold it in place enough for me. So what I want to do with my bit is go visually parallel with that rod like that. So actually a lot of times I just drill this in by hand. So I locate my hole, it's going to be here, and I start out with a small bit because a lot of times it's going through air in there. Not this time, it's going through foam, so we're going to have to use the drill. We want to be perpendicular with this side and parallel with this line. And now I'm going to use this groove and drill in that location. Let's get my location started, right? And then fit it in the groove. And then I want to do the same from the other side. Here's our 5/32. It's going to go up against here like so. I'm going to start right there. Now in theory, those two holes should meet in the middle, and I should be able to pass this rod through here. Usually it takes a little bit more work than that, but sometimes it works on the first try. Okay, and through, there it is. All right, so now I've just drilled my spar straight through the plane, and pretty much when I install the wings, I just have to get them onto the spar. Let's make sure this goes onto the right spot. Okay, into the hole and into the slot, like so. This should be extended all the way. And when the wing comes off, spar is extended. That's how you get your spars in there. Use a perpendicular drill guide that you make on your table saw with grooves in the sides. And you can drill them into the wings and into the fuselage like that, with the addition of the rod that goes from here down into the fuselage. This becomes a much stronger plane. Steve's Hands, Killer Planes. See you on the flight line.
Woohoo!